So today we are doing something a little different. I showed this book in my last haul and asked if anyone would want to see me color in it, and someone commented on it or on my video and picked a page for me. So I thought we would start in this book today. I don't know if I will do the whole thing on camera. I'm probably not going to talk through the whole thing because I usually get super distracted by my coloring. So it might not be very exciting to listen to because it might be a lot of silence. So if I do end up not really talking, I will just edit it and speed it up. But the page that was picked by my viewer was this one. Hold on, let me zoom in a little bit because a little bit there we go. Yeah, so it was this cute pig page, and this is the Stylish Renaissance book by Inner Sophist. I hope I'm saying that right. Probably not. And I went through all of my marker options, and I ended up deciding to go with my Artify markers, because I have this boho set, and I'll show you the swatch. Here's the swatch. I just really liked all of the colors in this one. They're dark and kind of regal looking, especially this purple color, since this is like a king eating his feast. I thought I could make it try and maybe stick to a different color palette than my normal bright bubblegum pop colors. I do have some other Artify sets. I have the tropical set, which these are the colors for the tropical set. And then I have just the 120, the full set. There's some overlapping colors, but actually not too many. So I might, looking at them, pull a couple from this 120 set because I actually really like this surf blue color. You can see that one right there. So we might do that as well, but for right now, I'm going to try and stick to just the boho set, so the 48. If you don't know much about Artify, oh my gosh, throwing stuff. This set that I have out now is the Fine Nib, can't talk today, and chisel, but their chisel is different. Can you see that? It is pointier, so you can get a finer line, and it's not as thick and chunky as some of them. And the set also came with these little labels to color and put on the tips of each marker, so I don't really have to always have my swatch chart out, because I can just pull it and see what the color was. But we'll have this out because it's a little bit easier for right now. Okay, I don't know about you, but whenever I pick colors, I have the color cubes and I have color palette books and stuff like that. I have a Pinterest board with a bunch of color palettes, and sometimes I use them, sometimes I don't. It just kind of depends on my mood. Sometimes I just kind of start picking colors and, go from there. So I think that is what I'm going to do today. I think I'm going to start with the pig, and I'm going to call this a little baby pig. I don't really know. He's got different ears than the king pig, but I mean, it's got to be his little son, right? So I'll probably just color him as a pig. So I think I'm going to start with the soft peach color, which is R500, which is this one. And I always have my scratch paper next to me, because even though I have them swatched, I still like to scribble on here too. So, and I might actually move that. Sometimes they get in my way. Actually, I think I'll put it on the side. Keep this down. There, that's better. Okay, and for since the biggest part of him seems to be his face, I think I'm gonna use the chisel end, just because I do not like streaks if I can help it. And then even if I do have them, I usually end up coloring them or covering them up somehow with paint pens or something. This one feels kind of dry. That's weird. I don't use the chisel side very often. One thing that is kind of annoying about this set is that the box that they come in rattles really badly when I'm coloring. So that can be kind of annoying. But it's not too bad right now. So, I'm definitely not an expert at this, so don't hold it against me if it doesn't end up looking good. I do like this set though. I got them last year around my birthday. When I was kind of going through like a phase where I was like, I don't want to use a hoo-hoos, I want to try other things. So I ended up getting these and the Winsor & Newton Pro markers. These I got on Amazon, which I think they're still available on Amazon, I believe. And then the Winsor & Newtons I found on Mercari. So, because they are expensive. So we're trying to buy those new in like a full set type of capacity is definitely not an option, because holy moly. And they're not like Copic expensive, but they are pretty expensive. So the set that I got was used, obviously, but not used very often. And I ended up getting a whole set, plus the Spectrum Noir plastic trays to keep them in. I got a whole set for, I think, around 100. So, very good deal. I had some extras too, so I have some duplicates. And then it also came with the metallic set. Oh, actually, I have my swatch chart right here. So, and if you guys, hold on, I'll finish this first. Going on a tangent here. If you don't know, Winsor & Newton have the Pro Marker line, which is a fine and a chisel, and then they have the Pro Marker brush line, which is a brush and chisel. I actually only have a few because the set didn't come with very many of the brush markers, but when I finish this ear, I will show you. I actually prefer the fine nib to their brush nib. So, because normally, because it's me, I would want to get the full set, you know, the brush and the fine. But I'll just pull one out here. So that is a Pro Marker, and I really like their fine points because they are just super fine, and they're kind of pointy, which is nice. So, and then just a normal chisel on the other side. But anyway, you're not here for that. I have a brush that I could show you. There's and the brush markers look the same, but obviously it is like the rubber kind of style nib, like a Copic. So they're good. I just right now it's not necessary to have all of them, but yeah, I got those right around the same time that I got these Artify. And what I really like about the Artify, move that, is that the set came, they were like, all the boxes were like wrapped in like gift wrap and like had bows around them. So it was like they got delivered like the week of my birthday. And so I was like, oh look, a birthday present to myself from myself. So that was good fun. But I love these. I use them so often that I just keep them underneath my desk. Just so they're easier to pull out, because the majority of my markers are kind of over that way. Like all stacked up. And then I usually just dig through my stockpile whenever I decide what I'm coloring and what I want to use. I don't mix brands very often on pages. I like to kind of stick to the same brand unless I just really don't have an option for the color in the brand that I'm using. I do also keep my Ulta New markers and my Prismacolor markers right here next to me. So there's my good old Prismacolors, and they're my favorite. Oh gosh, these lids are not my favorite though. I love their fine nib. It's very good. And then the other side is a brush, which is my favorite kind of marker. I love them. So I have that set, which I got at Blick last year, also right around my birthday. My mom and I went to St. Louis one day, and I decided that I was just gonna get them. I was like, you know what? I've been looking at them for so long. I'm just gonna do it. So I did, and I love them, and they stay right next to me all the time. So for his mouth and his tongue, I'm gonna do a little bit darker pink. So I'm gonna do the Carrie's pink. If I can find it, there it is. And of course I got a phone call and it stopped the video. But I think I'm gonna do the mouth with this color. Yeah, it is definitely the chisel on that other marker that was just kind of dry feeling. That's weird. And for the tongue, I think I will do what even is a pig's tongue color? Where is it? So I'm gonna do this red. It's a little brighter, but that's fine. If it's too bright, I'll just regret all my decisions. It's fine. It's a little red. Oh well. Oh, I forgot about the nose. Let's put this one too, and I'll figure it out later. I know that a lot of people like to blend their alcohol marker colors together, but I'm not good at it yet. So I like to have like a base down, usually, of my first colors, and then I'll kind of just like add and stuff from there. I don't know if I want to do. I feel like it's the little baby pig needs to be a different color, but maybe not. And nah, we'll do this. Oop, fuzz. I'll just do it the same color. Oh wait, is that a tail? Ah, dang it. Well, that sucks. he's not a pig. I think he's a squirrel. Well, we can make a pink squirrel. That's kind of goofy. Unless that's just the back of his chair. I think it is. Isn't it so weird how things can be interpreted so differently? Let's check. I will probably end up just speeding through the rest of this. This is my very first coloring chat that I've ever recorded. So, probably very awkward. Which I know what you're thinking. You're not awkward, I am. So, see, he's got a different kind of nose. I don't think he's supposed to be a pig. But he is now. I mean, you know, it's all up to your interpretation, right? So, I really don't like that tongue color. I knew as soon as I put it down I was going to regret it. Excuse me. And I'm just going to make the inside of his ears darker. And I'll probably go back over them a little bit with something else, but I'm not going to like that line. So, I think I'll get out a fine liner. Once that dries, I'm going to just draw a line there just because I kind of like how this side looks better than that side. So I do have some streaking, so I'll probably go over it again after we get the first layer of everything down. Just because I want to fix those spots and add a couple, maybe another layer or so, some depth, which I'm still working on doing. So, let's see. I'm thinking I want the curtains to be this purple color. And then I show you, and don't just say it. This is violet color. And then I'm thinking actually the walls will be this honeysuckle green, which it's definitely not. I mean, I guess it could be green in certain lights, but well, actually, because I have the candles here, I don't want the color to be too similar. So maybe we will do I think maybe the blue, but I think I want his outfit to be blue. I could do a brown on the wall. Maybe this vanilla color, or even this donkey brown. That one's pretty. With the purple. But then you've got that door back there and the table, which would have to be wood. What's your guys' process, like thought process in figuring these things out? I think I just stare at them for ever and ever until I just pick one. Let's see. Well, I'm just gonna do the curtains as I think about it. And let's see, R735. Does anyone else have these markers? If you do, let me know if you like them, how you like them. So, I just really feel like purples. I mean, obviously it's a color of royalty, but I usually don't go for this like dark purple because I prefer pastel colors, but that might be even too dark to show up on camera. I hope it lightens up a little bit. Oh, dang it. I will probably end up using my Guangna acrylic markers for like details and stuff, because I might need to add some highlights to these curtains since these colors are so dark. switch to, I'm not. One thing I do like about a dark color is that you can't see the streaks as easily. Obviously, some alcohol markers you still can, because some of them are a little bit waterier than others, I've noticed. So like the cheaper brands, like the Flomo, I think, markers that I got at Home Goods. I think I've shown those before. Those can get a little bit streaky sometimes, but I like to use those in like my Amazon printed like color by numbers and stuff. So I'm usually not too worried because I don't do any kind of like shading or any fancy stuff with those. I also use them a lot for PDFs whenever I print those out, because I'm not worried about them yellowing, because I keep all my PDFs in a binder, and they're all like divided up like plastic sheets. So I thought about maybe doing a video showing all of my colored PDFs so far that I have. So if you want to see that, let me know, because I can definitely do that. So what does everyone like to do when they color? Because when I first started, I would usually watch TV, but I got the idea in my head that it would be good to do while I listen to audiobooks. But I haven't really read much for the past like year or so. I've talked about it before, but just hasn't really been something I've wanted to do since my grandma passed away. So I usually just have on other channels YouTube videos when I color. And when I run out of them, which, by the way, if you have a channel or you have suggestions for your favorite channels, leave those in the comment below too, because I'm always looking for new videos to watch. But once I run out of coloring videos to watch for the night, I usually switch to Kitchen Nightmares with Gordon Ramsay. That's been my thing lately. Sometimes I watch like true crime videos. Sometimes I like as far as true crime, I like to watch police camera footage, like body cam footage. Which, I don't know, I like to watch the like quote unquote dumb criminal ones. I worked at Walmart like from 2010 to 2015. I was a cashier. So I really like to watch the videos where they catch like shoplifters at Walmart. Just because like I experienced it so much when I worked there, and I could never like pay too much attention to whenever like the asset protection team would catch the the shoplifters, because I was usually on a register like checking customers out, so I couldn't just like stop and watch. But it was always really cool to watch our asset protection team, like our quote unquote secret shoppers, kind of watching. They did a really good job. But it is just always so amusing to me how these people don't think that Walmart isn't just chock full of cameras and like people watching all the time. But yeah, I would literally have people like go through my line, pay for what I thought was everything that they had, because you know, like I would finish, you know, bagging everything, and then I usually would like walk around and put bags into their cart, so that way I could also like, you know, get the bags off the little carousel, but I could also check to make sure I like hadn't missed anything, or you know, like they hadn't forgot to put something up on the belt. but so many times, I mean, not so many times, but a few times, I would notice that the AP, that's asset protection, would stop a customer after they went through my line, or like even a line, you know, like on a register next to me. And I would always get so worried. I'm like, did I forget to scan something? But 9 times out of 10, they had just like stuck one small little thing like in their purse or in their pocket. And you know, I'm assuming just thinking like, oh, I spent all this money on this other stuff, like I can still go ahead and take this one. But yeah, they would still get caught. But back to my original point. I don't know, I just like to have like the background noise of like the body cam footage on sometimes. It's just kind of comical. Also, like documentaries about like first responders, or like ambulance, you know, or 911 calls. Those are usually interesting too. I don't know if I want to color this little tie the same color. I think I want those to be gold. So I'll do those in a little bit. But that wall color still stumping me, because I might end up doing like a pattern of some kind on the wall. So I think I will do what's gonna look good with it. I'm thinking maybe this clay ash color or the military green might look good. Then I have to worry about the floor and this rug. Oh boy. Maybe I'll do the door and the table next, and then I'll just go back to that. I'll figure that out later. Let's see. I think I'm gonna do the vanilla for the wood, just so it is a little bit lighter. So if I want to add like the wood texture, I can. So, oh, that's not vanilla. Hold on. Y413. Well, it looks darker here, but we'll see how it goes. But when I'm not watching that kind of stuff, I also really like to watch reaction YouTube videos, like commentary videos. Whether it's about like an influencer or celebrities, just generally like people talking about things. During the election last year, I would obviously watch a lot of like political commentary and stuff. I'm not watching any of that anymore. But I got that too dark. Which is why I need some more suggestions, because sometimes I get kind of stuck in a rut. And also because when I'm working during the day, I also watch YouTube, so I definitely just like go through my like videos pretty quickly. So which, I mean, I'm not complaining that I get to watch YouTube videos while I work, because it's very nice. I work for a company called Veterans United here in Missouri, and we are a mortgage lender, and we primarily do not 100%, but a large portion. We do like VA loans for veterans and active military. So I work in the post-closing department. So once the loans are all closed and everyone's in their house and all that fun stuff, then I go in and get various documents and stuff from like the closing and send it to our investors who buy the loans from us once we fund them. So it's just a way to make some money back, and the investors that buy them obviously end up making more money if they keep the loan, like if they service that loan over the course of like, you know, your 30 years or whatever, because they're obviously going to make interest on it. But by selling them, we get, you know, obviously a large chunk of money back right then and there. So, but random mortgage tangent for anyone interested, I guess. But because I deal with a lot of emails and kind of like auditing, checking, verifying documents, it's a lot of like busy work, so it's nice to have something on in the background as I'm doing that. When I was reading, I would listen to audiobooks during the day at work. I could get through usually a whole audiobook in a day because I listen to them at a faster speed. So I really need to get back into that because, you know, whenever I do start reading again, I'm going to be so far behind in my books. My TBR is going to be wild. I don't even remember what I was talking about before. I feel like it's missing a leg. It is missing a leg. There's this leg, but there's not a leg here. So I might add one in. Just because it looks like the table's like floating. I don't think this one's gonna be thick enough though. I got these on Amazon a couple weeks ago. I have issues with my fine liners like drying up really quickly, and I saw, I don't even remember where, on someone's channel, the liquid fine liners don't dry up as quickly, so they're also waterproof, so whenever I put them down like with markers, they don't like bleed or anything. So I was gonna try the Ohuhu brand, but these were a little bit cheaper. Which size do I want to use? This has got thicker line. What the 5? But I haven't used them yet, so yeah, that side will work. Size. Let's see. I do it like right here. Oh, and look, it still bleeds. Even though it said, oh well. I think I pressed down too hard. Oh my gosh, these are juicy. Yeah, it's a little off, but that'll work. I'm gonna switch back to this one for these are actually my favorite, and they're just the Michaels brand, the Artist Loft. I got a pack of I think they're all the 0.3, but they're all different colors. So I have like a green, black, brown, pink, purple, and I think blue. But I don't use them too often except for like fixing lines and adding lines to pages, kind of like this. That's a little bit thicker so it matches the, yeah, that looks better. Maybe I'll just fix this a bit too. Yeah, those liquid ones are good, but because it's liquid and not like the cartridge or whatever inside, I feel like they just bleed a lot. So remember that. Maybe I'll stick with my other ones. Crooked in my chair. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. What was it? Oh no, I missed a little teeny tiny spot in his little face. Is that the right color? There. Does anyone else use their fine liners to fix your mistakes? Because I do a lot. Because I just sometimes cannot be bothered to be careful. So it's nice knowing that if I mess up, especially obviously in these like comfy cozy books, the line work is so much thicker that it's nice knowing you've got a little bit of a cushion. I mean, that's not to say like I don't love like a more detailed book, but I think I'm gonna switch to the chisel side. How does everyone feel about the comfy cozy book phenomenon, actually? My friends and I talk a lot about this, which, you know, if you're watching, hey guys. Lauren, Kai, Emily, hello. We talk about it a lot just because we see other YouTubers and colorists on Instagram and Facebook, usually Facebook, talking about how they want all of the bigger companies like, you know, or Coco Wyo and Jade Summer, Coloring Book Cafe, Southern Lotus, how, like, I see a lot of posts asking them to go back to the old style of book, which would be like your 8.5 by 11, your kind of more detailed books with like the various themes and stuff, which, I mean, I would absolutely love to see more of those, but at the same time, I really love this style, just because I feel like it's brought a lot of people into coloring, which is cool. I mean, you know, Ariana Grande's even coloring, wild. But there are some people who just absolutely hate this style of coloring and, you know, say that it's, you know, not for adults and la-di-da-di-da, which I think is crazy because I literally color in children's coloring books a lot, so, you know, and before, you know, your Johanna Basford or whatever back in the day, there really wasn't an option to color for adults other than, you know, children's books. I know in college when I colored, this was 2008 to 2010-ish, give or take, I would just carry around like a literal box of crayons and a Disney coloring book from like Walmart in my backpack, because I lived off campus, but because I spent so much time on campus during the day, I would have to like wait in between classes, and you know, like, who's gonna just do homework all the time, because that was boring. So I would need something to do, so I would color a lot. But yeah, I mean, that was all I had, was, you know, the newspaper feeling type of, you know, kids coloring books. So obviously finding these kind of books, like, was a whole life-changing experience for me. But I don't know, I just feel like this style is just hated on so much by so many people. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's obviously loved by more people than it is hated. But how do you guys feel about it? Do you wish that, you know, like, all of them would go back to the kind they had before? Or do you like these? Maybe a combination of both. That's kind of how I am. One of my favorite books is the Jade Summer, like, Grayscale Chibi's book, which I'm trying to complete, like, from start to finish, which I'm only like 7 pages in, so I need to probably go a little faster. But like, that is like Jade Summer style grayscale is absolutely some of my favorite types of, you know, pages or books. So I would love to have more of those, but I also realize that there's, you know, space for these types as well as the other kind. So, you know, if any of you are watching, hey Coco Wyo, Jade Summer, maybe just kind of give us a little bit of both. but I'm not gonna complain because I obviously still find plenty of books because I started coloring kind of late in the game a little bit, so I've got a lot of catching up to do, which, you know, if you've watched any of my coloring book hauls, then I'm getting there for sure. But oh man, now the turkey's gonna have to be a weird color so it doesn't blend in with the table and the bread. Oh well, that's fine. I think I am gonna do green for the wall. Looking at it again, I think I am gonna do this clay ash. G611 right here. I need to actually take the time to do this thing for all of my markers and all of my different sets, just because sometimes I can't find my like swatch sheets. Sometimes I put them in silly places. But I know that Alexandra Franzese on her Instagram and her TikTok, she showed how she did like these little round stickers on the caps of all of her like Ohuhus and Cali Arts and stuff, like that style of marker. So whenever they're in her little case and they face out, like you can just see like the swatch of the marker. But I would probably only do that on some of, not like my markers that I have next to me on my desk, just because I like how they look with the labels that they come with. But I mean, I get it because, you know, it's obviously not the same color. Like, that color is not the color that I'm putting on the page. But I don't mind because I like looking at them. They're very pretty. But having them just like on the, you know, marker itself would be really nice. It'd save me a little bit of time, I think, from all of my scribbling that I do. So, but that's gonna come with time because I need to get my office organized. Right now is a hot mess express. So, it's looking like I am maybe soon-ish gonna be able to get some bookcases in here, move some furniture to another room. So that'll be nice to be able to like put, oh, there's fuzz on there, put all of my books away like on shelves and like actually be able to see them, like put them together with, you know, by artist or company. So that way I won't feel like I'm neglecting any of my books. I feel like that a lot, actually. Which I know is silly because I am always like looking at them, like talking about them and thinking about them. Let's see, how do we like the green? Yeah, it's pretty good. Let's switch to this end though. Does anyone else hate coloring like big chunky areas like this just because of the streaking? Yeah, like I said, these artifact markers just have a really nice chisel, which I don't say very often because I do not like a chisel tip, but it has this like really pointy part on it, which almost kind of works as like a fine point nib, which is nice because I also have their brush tip set, which I can show in a little bit once I get this part done. Trying to think of what pattern would be good for this wall. I would like to be able to do some type of like gilded looking like fancy gold design. So I might pause when I'm done with like my base layer and look around and see what I can find. I can't draw for like to save my life, so I don't want to have to draw too much, but I could probably draw something. I also have stencils, which might actually work if I use like a soft pastel, like a pan pastel, or something like that, or just like a gel pen. So that's an idea. Oh, dang it, that's gonna, because I'm gonna have some streaking on here that I'm gonna need to cover up. Which, you know, it's fine, it happens. Sometimes my hands don't move fast enough. So I could also do pencil, which I don't use very often. I'm really trying to be better about that. But somehow I just end up back here with the markers. Alcohol markers are definitely my favorite medium, for sure. But I'm actually starting to enjoy water-based markers quite a bit, which is nice because I have so many books that need water-based marker or pencil because they're they're double-sided, and obviously alcohol markers will just bleed right through. But been watching a lot of people using water-based markers, so I'm slowly learning. So shout out to Spare Room Studio, which I've talked about before, and also Amy Ward Art is so amazing with water-based markers. Like, it is incredible what she can do with a water-based marker. So that's where I've been getting a lot of my tips from for that. Let's see, I don't think that's gonna streak too bad, so that's good. But yeah, it's definitely gonna need something, maybe even just like pinstripes in like a gold. That might be pretty, because then we'd go with the light fixtures. And thinking maybe a purple rug because it would tie in with the curtains. So still thinking about their clothes, because I still really want to use this blue from from the 120 set, this surf blue, or even the blue chill, but I feel like it might be a little too different. So I don't know, maybe not. What was I doing? Let's see. Anyone else ever just change their mind like 600 times, like when you're coloring? I feel like I am constantly back and forth with myself. I also think I just worry too much about like how it looks and how I'm doing and am I good at this? You know, I love that anxiety. I like to kind of bounce back and forth to keep the edges wet so that I don't get as much streaking. So that's why I kind of hop around like a lunatic sometimes. So, oops, whoopsie. So if you're wondering why I'm doing this, that is why. I also love to use paint pens and stuff at the end to cover up all of my little boo-boos since they're so opaque, which is nice. Let's see. I really hope that I shouldn't be more zoomed in. I hope you can see this. Like I said, definitely not professional at coloring or filming, obviously. And I know I had a comment on my last video about my camera shaking, and again, I'm so sorry. Not quite sure. Oh yeah, I just saw it shake. Oh shoot. Yeah, so I am gonna work on getting a better option for like overhead filming. Right now I have a ring light, which it's not attached to my desk, but obviously when I'm coloring, like, I'm moving the table, which bumps the lamp, or the ring light lamp that is on. So I'm gonna have to figure something else out. I didn't want to do a whole lot because I didn't know if I was gonna actually like stick to this whole like video thing, because before coloring, I sort of bounced around from like hobby to hobby like really quickly. So I kind of learned like not to, well, didn't do me a lot of good, but I would try to not buy too much or, you know, invest too much in the current hobby that I was doing, because I would usually lose interest in about 10 seconds. So I was like, well, I don't know if this whole like YouTube portion of it all is gonna like work out, so I didn't buy, because I use this ring light also for like when I'm coloring. I have like 3 lights like right in up here. But I mean, it is a really sturdy lamp for the most part, but it is definitely wobbling. So again, I am so sorry. And I am looking at different options. So hopefully soon I will have some type of like filming setup that's a little more permanent. Also, I've thought about getting a camera so that I don't have to use my phone and like worry about phone calls interrupting it and all that jazz. So it's also something I'm gonna look at. Also just because my phone gets really hot when I record, since I record such long videos. It'd just be nice to have something a little, not professional, but just like a little higher end, I guess. So if I do that, I will have to get a different type of stand for it anyway, because this one's just meant for my phone. So if anyone has any recommendations for cameras or different type of like phone stand even, let me know. You can send me or post a comment or message me on Instagram. I'm always on there. I will also leave my email address in the comments if you would prefer to email me. Actually probably going to start an email account just for like coloring related stuff, just because my regular email is getting sort of, oh shoot, yeah, it is really wobbly. My other email is getting really full of like emails from coloring related companies and stuff, like, you know, sale ads and everything from different websites. Let's see, let's do the rug next. So we'll do this purple. I always feel like I'm not gonna like what I'm doing, and I know that everyone talks about that whole like ugly phase or stage or whatever that your pages have, but this one's not too bad. I think I am definitely gonna do like the wood grain texture though, at least on the table, just to kind of break up the browns a little bit, just because the table and the floor are looking a little samey. Trying to think if there's another fun thing to do with the flooring. Some nights I'm obviously feeling more adventurous with my choices. Oh, dang. I really didn't notice how much it shook until they commented. I guess because I'm like pushing into it. Maybe if I move the lamp away from the desk. It'd be really bad if this whole entire video just had to be scrapped because of my shaky camera. Oh, that would suck. Now I'm nervous. Now that I've been sitting here rambling for 45 minutes. Let's see, what is today? Today's Tuesday. You know, it's Wednesday Eve, which is nice. I like to make it to Wednesday and tell myself how proud I am of myself for making it to Wednesday. No, work is great. I don't normally have any issues with it, but I also just would prefer to be home doing this versus sitting at work. Obviously. But I also have some books at work that I color in on occasion. And I'm probably gonna have to pause because I think my husband is gonna come in here. But yeah, I have a copy of Secret Garden by Joanna Basford that I keep at my desk at work. And some gel pens. And I have a set of Ohuhu water-based markers at my desk that I use in my Creative Haven books because I usually kind of alternate and like bring them home and take new ones in and kind of whatever I'm feeling like doing. And I have my Sanjoki alcohol markers at work too, because they're in a really nice case and they're just easy to like pick up and take. And I have a set of Starjoy Gold colored pencils. I don't use colored pencils at work very often though, just because they take so much of my concentration. And I usually color like one little tiny thing at a time and like in between emails and that kind of thing. A brain break. Okay, let's see. I need to do the gold parts. I wonder how gold that actually, this one's probably closer. I like to do marker where I'm gonna eventually add like a metallic gel pen. Let's see why 213. Mostly just for my reference since the marker gets covered up anyway, but it's nice to have. Oh shoot. I need to one thing that I also want to get better at, because you know that list is never ending, is like the color combinations with colored pencils, like how people have figured out like a gold color combination to like make things look metallic. Just because sometimes I feel like when I use a metallic gel pen, it kind of just looks a little sloppy. And it doesn't look like it quite fits in, because if I just do a page with like only pencils and then I have this like random chunk that just happens to have like gel pen on it, like I feel like it kind of stands out. Also considering metallic watercolors, I found like some CSY like handmade metallic watercolors on Amazon. I haven't bought yet, but thought I might give those a try. But I mean, because I love some sparkle. But for like this, I don't really feel like I want like a glittery gold. Just like a shinier option. That's why I thought I know that there's a lot of people that have like really good Prismacolor color combinations. but I'm not very good at blending pencils, so I would be afraid of messing up. And I know, like, if I mess up, I mess up. It's fine. But what color should their chairs be? I don't know. I'll have to think on that. Okay, so am I gonna do blue or am I gonna do red for their clothes? So if I did red, I would do either one of these two or some combination of like these three. But if I do blue, I could do this blue Diane color. You see that one? So like that one right there. Because the blue would look good with the purple, or maybe the hippie blue, just because I don't want that blue Diane to get too dark. Right now it's obviously looking very flat. So I'm gonna need to zhuzh it up a little bit. Let's see. I think I'm gonna do blue and then is the red chair gonna look weird? It might look weird. Dang it. I mean, a blue chair would also look weird, so maybe the little dude can have a red outfit and he can have a blue outfit. Maybe that's what I'll do. Okay. So we're gonna do the hippie blue, which is the B327. I have so many markers out. I need to, yeah, see how much darker that is on this paper? Okay. So I will do his sleeves and his collar and another color. I think I'm gonna do that little part right there is like his belly, like his shirt's like busting open. I'm gonna do that now. I also leave all of the markers that I've used even a little bit like out on my desk when I'm coloring a page because I will forget what I've used, and if I need the color again I won't have it. But my desk isn't very big, so sometimes I run out of space. Whoa, sorry. For the food, I'm not very good at coloring food yet. But since this is like a cartoony kind of thing, I think I'll be okay. I will probably use glaze pen on the icing on the cake. And maybe on the turkey. Just to give it that like shiny, like buttered look. Very fun. And the eternal question that I always have for myself is, am I going to cover lines up with paint pens, or am I going to leave the line art as it is? What do you guys prefer? Because I go back and forth. Like, on a few pages I've done like the whole thing where I've covered all the lines, and I didn't really like it. But at the same time, there are some things and like some elements on pages that I feel like would look better with the black lines covered. So I'm very back and forth on it, and I don't know, I think I overthink my coloring pages a lot. which is why I'm so slow. Well, I don't feel like this is going to lighten up quite as much as I thought it would based on my swatch sheet, but that's okay. Just thinking. I think I'm gonna actually, instead of red, I'm gonna do like their outfits sort of like alternated, but then his collar would be the same. I wonder what that's supposed to be. What's up?
Go do whatever.
Oh yeah, I think that is supposed to be part of the rug. Okay. Just thinking, I'd like for their outfits to kind of like be coordinated a little bit, but not like totally like a matchy. But if I kind of flip-flopped it, then this color would be these two colors would be the same, and I don't like that. So maybe I won't do that. Let's see, maybe for little guy here. Also, I forgot to color his nose. Some of this darker color for his nose. Yeah. I think I'm going to do. So now that I look at it, I don't really like the red for his outfit. It's kind of a little too grown up. Oh goodness. Let's do this moonstone blue. And I actually like this Catskill white. Which is just a, I think it says it's a neutral gray, but that looks more like a blue gray. So I think I'm gonna do that for big guys. Sleeve and collar. And I'm thinking probably what I'm actually going to do is just finish this part because we're already at an hour. Well, maybe not. What time is it? 8 o'clock. I'm not doing too bad, but I have some other things to do tonight. Well, let's see how it goes. I'm just like the world's slowest colorist. I think I could also probably blame my phone a lot for that. Because I tend to like color one thing and then pick up my phone and then like scroll on Instagram for like ever and then put my phone down and color one more little thing. I think I'll just have their outfits be matching. That'd be cute. We'll do that. But yeah, I'm just like so easily distracted from like what I'm doing. Obviously, as you can probably tell. was also thinking maybe gel pens somewhere on here. Obviously other than like my white gel pen, but I have been using the Linguo acrylic gel pens for a lot more lately. Did I get everything? For now, yes. So, finish his outfit. And then we'll go on to the chairs, finish the candles, and worry about the food. Yes. And I'm still trying to think of pattern ideas for the rug, the floor, and maybe their clothes. I don't know. I also just kind of like the color of the clothes, so maybe not. Could add some like gold accents somewhere. Okey-dokey. And when I am thinking about it, okay, so I'm thinking maybe gold for the chair. I know I just said I wouldn't, but I think red is just going to be too much. I could do red on like the back part of the chair. That's not the right color. This one's the right color. Okay. Why am I nervous? Like, you know, he has his like regular throne in his throne room, but then he also has his like eating throne. You know, because he's a pig. So that's why his chair's gold. Maybe I'll just do his chair gold. And then little dude's chair can be another color. Like he kind of just like pulled it up next to the table so he could eat with his dad. Anyone come up with like storylines for their pages as they're coloring them? I know I've heard Candace talk about it before with her Undead Academy pages that she's done, which I also still need to color in that book. But it is kind of fun to think about, like the characters and like, what are they thinking right now? Probably thinking, why is it taking so long to get this food into my mouth? Because it's like frozen. Think up to that little part right there, red. And I'm gonna do just the feet and this bottom part in gold. And I say gold because I'm eventually going to actually make it gold. And then I guess the back of his also needs to be, but then the cushion part. Where? Oh, not that one. The dark terracotta, which is not really terracotta if you ask me. I think I'm actually gonna make his tongue a little bit darker. Yeah, it's kind of backwards. Oh well. And then this part right here. Ooh, that's a pretty color. These like jewel tones are really pretty. Maybe I should start using them more. Keep me away from the pastels as much. You know. If I don't end up doing something just like completely obnoxiously neon colored, then it's probably going to be some form of pastel pink, teal, purple, you know. Oops, sorry. I get, like I said before, a little stuck in color palette ruts, or color schemes, I guess. I wouldn't call them palettes because I just kind of make them up as I go. I don't really have a plan for anything. I need to find another spot for this red color though, so that it doesn't stand out quite as much. I wonder if these are supposed to be cherries. They're a little big for cherries. And a pear. Bread. More bread. Grapes. Cake. What's this? Looks like a carrot to me. On a plate. You could make the candles red, but I don't think back then they had colored candles. So I'm gonna just do the platinum color. Oh, that's light gray. TG here. And of course, again, I didn't think about doing the light source for the candles, which is cool. So I can either try and add it in the end or just not do it. Probably just not do it. I'm gonna do that for the inside of this bread. I try not to use too many colors on one page. I feel like I'm like slowly approaching that amount, but I also maybe for the cake too, and then I can go over it with a paint pen to give it that like rough iced texture. One of my many failed hobby attempts was also cake decorating. So, but this is cool because it's a good combination of everything, because, you know, I can color the food instead of making the food. I'm gonna call these cherries. They could probably be like a plum, but and I'm gonna leave some of the white like that. Go in with my pink color. Add that in. This is what I mean just by not being good at blending. Like, I should probably be blending light to dark and not dark to light. But what do I do? Green. A little cherry stem. Let's do all the rest of these too. I could probably use a different green, but like I said, I like to connect the colors. That's probably like a strawberry. At least it's going to be now. these. I might have to get a different color out for the grapes. Because I don't love my options. And the purple is going to be too dark. Let me see. What else do we have here? The royal purple would have been good. That's in the tropical set. The bluebell would look good. Is that going to stand out too much though? Actually, I might just try and stick to give myself a challenge, you know. So I am going to do the violet for the grapes. But I think I'm going to leave little spots open. And just use the lighter purple. I really can't tell what that's supposed to be. I'm gonna call them grapes. I know, you probably know what it is, and you're probably screaming at the screen right now. Don't do it. And lavender gray. That's a pretty color. Again, I am not a professional blender, so you're also still probably screaming at me. And I'll probably just go back in later and fix that up a little bit with a paint pen. Hoping maybe once it dries too, the lighter color will stand out a little bit more. I need to do the flames. I need to do what I'm calling a carrot. So I need an orange. I'm thinking Persian orange. I also just love the names of these. They're so much fun. Oh, I forgot to color the thing on the pear. Ooh, do you want to see? Oh, spoilers. I like the bleed part. I like to look at it. Sometimes I do a little bit more with my flames, and sometimes I just like it like this. So I might just leave it like this. Oh, I could use some of that red. Tie red into the back part. I hate that. This is why I make chaotic choices. I should not have done that. Oh well. And we'll fix it with an acrylic paint pen. Oh well. Sometimes you just gotta try it, right? Okay. And my weird carrot. It's probably not really a carrot. But we don't have any vegetables on this table. So now we do. And pigs like carrots, right? Also gonna need a lighter color for this pear. What kind of pear do I want it to be? What's the Jetstream look like? Where is it? Oh, that's a lot. Nah, that's too blue. I'm gonna have to probably use a different brand. Like the Pro Marker Meadow Green would be good. G339. Because I can't think. Red pears. I could do like those Anjou pears. Bleh. But I kind of just want it to be like a regular Bartlett pear. So G339 right here. One thing I will say about these markers, as much as I love them, they sometimes are so juicy that when you take the lid off, like ink just like drips out of them, which is stressful. And I've ruined a couple of pages doing that, so that is one thing to be mindful of. Okay, I know I'm crazy. You're probably like, what are you doing? You Anybody else just like a speckly pear? Don't worry, we'll get back to that. Okay, and for the bread, and the turkey, I still haven't thought about the turkey. I think for the bread, I'll do this churro brown. And also the bisque. I don't want it all to be the same color. Where is it? So I already have it out. Yes, I do. So we're gonna do this color first. And on his. I wonder if that is bread or no, it's bread. I say it could be like slices of turkey, but they haven't cut the turkey yet. You know, we got to keep this real believable because we have a pig with a crown on its head eating food at a table. Super realistic. And then I'll do this one too. And then I might just do this one the darker color. It's a different kind of bread. Another reason why I thought about, or I'm thinking about doing paint pen over some of the lines is that I think this food gets kind of lost. Like if I just leave it like this. We could try pencils, but I'm not good at shading with pencils. So I mean, we could still try it, but I'm gonna figure out what color plates I want. I'm thinking I really hate those flames. I'm thinking. Yeah, we'll do silver. It's too dark. Iron? It's a little blue, but it's gonna take me forever to get all the markers back where they're supposed to go. Okay. So, churro brown. Maybe for the base of the turkey. And then also for like the shadows on the bread. I know I keep changing my mind. I'm so sorry. You're probably sick of it. What else can we talk about? The turkey is just very browned. I guess I was thinking more like the Renaissance fair, like whenever you get the turkey legs, how they're smoked, so they're normally like super dark. That's where I was going with it. Now I need to do the icing on the cake. I'm thinking pink. And then for that bone, I'm going to do the same color I used on the cake, which is the platinum. Okay. So the first part is done. We're an hour and a half in. I think I am going to I'll do a little bit more. Sorry, really thinking. Because I want to do definitely want the like detail part and like the highlight part on camera. For this next part, I'm really just gonna go in with like the same colors to like darken areas and stuff, so it's not gonna be super exciting. But we have already gone this far, so we'll just keep going. Well, you can definitely skip ahead a little bit if you don't want to watch this part. And honestly, I might actually just speed it up. I'll just leave a recording and speed it up. So let's get started. Okay, so So I just did some shadows around everything else, moved up. I decided against patterns on the wall or the table. I kind of just did shadows around like the food and stuff. And the darker color kind of made the, like, kind of broke up the color a little bit. So I think and then I used words not working today, my Uniball gold Signo, just to outline the candle holders and his crown. I was gonna do the chair, but I feel like that might be a little much. I'm still debating on the curtain ties, just because I kind of like how they look like that, so I might just leave it. One thing I am kind of stuck on is their skin, because I did some like shading or like shadows on. I got gel pen on. Dang it, I smeared it. I always do that. But I just feel like it needs something else, but I can't really figure out what that is. So I'm also going to do white gel pen, but I can't find the one that I want to use, so I guess I'll use just a white Uniball Signo for the strawberries, just some little highlights in there, and then also the cherry side there, and then the grapes, and I know that I should probably pay more attention to like light sources and stuff, but like I really don't. I kind of just put the highlights wherever I think they would look good. So maybe one day I will. But like I said, it's literally a pig eating at a table, so not realistic. I don't want to do too many highlights on the foods, just because I don't want them to kind of like blur together again. And I do think that sometimes I go a little crazy with my highlights, so I need to pay more attention to that. That's not too bad. I'm just going to use my, I said guangna earlier, but they're like buried over there, and this is just right here. So I'm gonna use my Ohuhu, these Nahuka acrylic markers, which is just their brush tip, just a little small set. So there's the swatches on white and black, and I am going to use which one? I don't want to actually do a whole lot. So I'm thinking just this lighter purple, just in a couple of spots on the curtain. And maybe the icing on the cake I'll use that one for. But I also kind of want to do glaze pen for the icing, so maybe not. And then maybe some dots on the turkey just for some color. So V20. That's V20. Whoop. These have been sitting for a while. So can't hear the little ball. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay. So I don't want to do a whole lot, just because I don't want it to stand out too much. Shoot. If it gets to be a little too much, I will just go back over it with the alcohol marker. It's definitely not the paint pen's fault, it's my fault. So I will probably go back over it with the alcohol marker, just to tone down the color a little bit. This out of the way. Don't want to get my hand in it. I'm very bad about that. These paint pens have a very nice brush on them, actually. Not very many colors, which is a bummer, but that's okay, because I like the case and I like that they're easy to just pack around. So add some more purple to the grapes. I did consider for a minute doing like a shag rug, but that didn't really fit the time period, so I did not. Alright, where's that purple alcohol marker? Is this dry yet? I don't do this very often because I don't want to ruin the nib of my marker, but just tone down the color. It won't necessarily ruin the nib of your marker, I just am paranoid. And I will probably scrub it off on a piece of paper just to make sure there's no paint left on the nib. Oh, and my husband's gonna come back in again. See how that, like, you can still see the highlight? I don't know if you can. Just looks different than the other side. Not quite as stark. Ah. See, I'm always rubbing my arm or my hand on something. I somehow always seem to pick the wrong color when I'm doing this on curtains. Last time I did it, I was coloring red curtains, and I accidentally picked like a terrible color for it, but then I remembered I'd seen someone do this before, and it really helps. So, we need a little here. That got kind of dark. There, I like that. Okay, let's see. I actually kind of like the, it's not really streaky, but it does look kind of textured on the ball. So I actually kind of like that. It kind of looks like paint. And then I just did some like dotting around here. And actually I got a shadow. I have so many markers out. And I definitely don't do the shadow thing for every page, but I figured why not. Glaze pen for the cake. I always have a clear glaze pen, if I can get it to work. There we go. These things do take a little bit to get started. And this one's also getting a little bit low. Oh, now it's going. I use this for so many things though. Every time I go to Blick, I buy extras just because they're cheaper there. I use them for eyes because I do a lot of portraits and a lot of chibis, which, you know, big eyes and like make them all cute and all that. I use it on fairy wings. If I don't do the clear like stardust, I usually do the clear glaze on them, like so that the color still shows through. Yeah, I just love them. I need to do something with the fire. I hate that. And I actually might use, where did it go? The one for the cake. This R30 just to cover up the black lines. That's cute. I'm almost tempted to do that with the pigs, but that would be like a lot. So I will refrain, but I am going to do that with the flames because I hate what I did, and this will just cover it up. So I will do I think just the orange. I like the orange. R60. Whoa, that's bright. Just because it is so bright, I might put another color in the middle. Not that one. Oh my gosh, that's even brighter. Okay. So I'm gonna definitely have to go over it with alcohol marker. That is crazy bright. But it does look better. Does anyone, what's your favorite brand of acrylic paint marker? Leave that in the comments. I have some sort of strange obsession with them. I have so many different brands because I just feel like I want to try them all. Sorry for turning the book. But this is easier and I don't want to get my hands in paint. If you haven't tried these, they are fantastic. I mean, they're Ohuhu, so they're bound to be. But, like I said, pretty small amount of colors. I mean, obviously, when we're used to, I mean, I have a 240 set of Guangdas sitting right next to me. But these are good to travel with. Not that I travel. Try that over the yellow. Sorry I didn't end up doing quite as much to the page, but I kind of realized the pigs are sort of like the focal point, at least in my mind, because they're so cute. So I didn't want to take away too much from them. Plus, sometimes I tend to add too much and stuff gets a little crazy. And then I have to try and fix it. And then it gets worse. So, I'm going to do a little bit more yellow though, because it's fairly transparent. Translucent? Whichever. Okay. That is done. I think you know, a little bit more white gel pen and I think we're done. So,
Love you.
Oh, you're leaving?
Yeah.
Okay. Bye. Sorry about that. My husband is going to the movies like a crazy person because it's 9:30 on a Tuesday. Why did my pen just stop working? There we go. Just gonna add something there to cover up that paint that I got on accident. Maybe just one little there. And his nose. And sorry, I'm thinking even though it really doesn't make a difference at this point. I just like to do whatever with the highlights. But I think we might be done. So here it is. My first page in this new book. So that, you know what? I'm gonna add some glaze pen to the cherries. Just because I think it'll be cute. That's not the right one. That one's empty. I also have a really bad habit of not throwing away the empty pins in my drawer because I think that maybe there's still a little more left in them. And then I just get confused and keep pulling out the empty ones. Okay. And I'm going to do a second layer over here. So, oh, looks like I smeared the paint. And just kind of smush that in there. All right, so that is it. And we're only 2.5 hours in. This was fun. Let me know if you want me to try again, do another book, or if you have a book suggestion for me, because we all know that I love to buy books. Just put it in the comment below, and we will do this again. Let me know if you prefer like the silent, like sped up color alongs, or like the talkative ones. I know I didn't talk very much at some points because I kind of get focused on what I'm doing. Or, you know, if you have any suggestions on how I can do better, definitely leave that below, because I'm still learning. So I will definitely try again. And next time, I will definitely do more with the paint pens. Maybe we can try pencil. That one will have to be like multiple parts because I'm so slow with pencils. But I just lost my train of thought. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. All right, have a good day.